red2a, red class. Today is Wednesday, January 25th. Here's what I want you to do. These last three here, I want you to do number 3, number 6. Put a star next to number 6 because he's going to be the problem that's going to guide us onto the new stuff today. Star next to number 6. And number 9 or 8. I don't know which one we've done, but basically we're going to complete the row. We'll try 1 on the back after those 3, and then that'll be our review of this time. Or let me grab one that we don't go this far. All right, do it fast then. Count 1 here. We're moving it to the right. That's odd. I would okay. I can't have it all memorized. I did in the other class. We move to the right 1 unit. Of course, normally the negative numbers are to the. Oops, sorry. That's to the left. So this thing is not going to work here. How about you? How about you? You. Erase, erase, erase. Red. To the right 1. The plus are to the right, but again, this is the big deal. In the parenthesis, inside the parenthesis, is going to be the opposite. Today, the new thing will be for a circle, instead of 1 parenthesis and a K, they're also going to put K inside of a parenthesis with its own letter. They're going to put a Y and a K together, and the rule will just be, instead of just moving the H in the opposite direction, when we get to the circle, the new handout, that new parenthesis that's going to be at the end, you also move that in the opposite direction. When it says go up, well, you have to put the opposite sign. So let's put this one in here. This to the right, you do the opposite. What's going to be inside the parentheses? Someone, please. I heard it. X minus 1. That guy's squared. I asked us to do 6. 6. They wanted to do 5 units down. This one, if you didn't, if you just answered, let someone else answer. What are we going to do with this 5 down, please? For number 6, what's going to be at the end? Minus 5, okay. Freebie, and then this last guy, he is the expansion factor. Y equals, what's going to be on this one? I heard it kind of there, 1/4. The question they're going to ask, though, with the 1/4 is, hey, what's that 1/4 going to do to the original picture? Does anyone know what's going to do to the original picture? I heard it back there. It makes it wider. The fraction does. So this one I do want to sketch. I don't know if we did this one last. Did we do this one last time, or today is the first time we're doing this one? Dang. So did we do the entire sheet together? What was not done? I mean, on the front. Was anything not done on the front? So we did them all on the front. All right. We'll flip to the back. Let me see if I can choose a special one on the back. Oh, pause. For the basics, they separate all 3 of them. Any questions about any of the 3? Because it's the mix that they're usually going to try and have you do. But here it comes. On the back. All right. Which ones have we done on the back already in this class? Say it again. 17, 16, and who else? 10. 10. All right, where are you, 10? I don't see, mine is hard to see. Number 1. All right, if I were just choosing one of these for you to do right now before I go to that other sheet, move it up and down. All of these are combos, which is good. So that I don't get confused, what I'll do, we'll finish off the top row. Do me a favor, put in the formulas for the top row. We'll do those together. Do a couple on the other page. And then try to move to the circle page, then computer, then done. All right. So today should be straightforward. I don't think we ever wrote down the what's the word I'm looking for? The learning target. And use technology to find missing values. So choose by table. I am going to come around on the top two. Let me come around, at least check mark that you got to start on that one. So this is the back page, top two. Back page, top two. Again, the idea is not to do them all, because if you do them all, let's say on next class, I want you to try and do some of those. They'll all be done. Now, again, for some of you, trying to move the actual picture around, let them tell you exactly what to do on those. So remember the up. No, the back page, that one there, number 12. Did they do it down? Make sure there's number. Oh, on the outside. That tells you up and down. You don't remember checking? Nah, I got 3 classes, so the idea of what I checked. All right. For number 12, oh, they have the double one. Some people got both pieces, the y equals. We know, let's see, the problem wants to move 1 unit to the left. So I know plus 1. And 1 unit down, I know that's going to be minus 1. So as I went around and checked, I didn't look specifically like, okay, what's in the parentheses, but I know I was checking to see if did they have ones on the outside. So here it comes. What goes on the inside, please, someone? The x plus 1, and then on the outside, the minus 1. So the idea is, again, once you do a bazillion of these, you get the pattern. Opposite goes on the inside, regular on the outside. Now that's what the parabola will leave. I think, is it correct? 13, 14, and 15 are in fact blank, yes? So you can count these. And so, so here's the deal. Go to this sheet here, and this one I think I will come around and on this one. So the two you're doing on here, if we didn't write it, let's write down the general form of the absolute value. What does it mean, the general form? Where you get a y, you get an a, which looks like a 9. We can write it in red so they all stand out. So on this one, you have the absolute value, but that x, what goes inside with the x is the h. Did I have you guys write this down on this one yet, the general form? Okay. And then at the end, the k. With that said, again, go ahead and try and do one where it's just moved to the left. The move to the left, if you're good with that, that's going to be good because the next handout I'm going to give you is with the circle. The circle will just have parentheses. After the circle, then we'll try and see if I can do the circle by hand. Open up computers to type in equations, because on the test, there's going to be a section where that's all they're going to ask you to do. Do you know how to type in absolute values? Do you know how to type in a radical sign and put numbers inside of it? And once you have that, can you produce a certain picture that goes with it? All right, let me give a moment for that picture, just so that you're reminded. The picture for the absolute value is a letter V. Parabola is a U. So the letter V, and there's a reason it's a V, but for now, it's good enough to say that the parent function, this guy here, is this thing here. Let me do the flip of it. If ever you got this one here, what change? The down version, which is a famous one, If you don't have the down version, this is y equals the negative. Oops. See if I can get some space. Y equals the negative of that. A minus sign flips you the way they'll say it on the assessment so that you know the terminology. The reflection of this function over the x-axis. How do I reflect the red guy over the x-axis? Oh, I put a negative sign at the very front. The letter A becomes just a negative 1. The minute you see a negative out front, not out inside, not at the end, out front, then that lets you know you're reflecting that guy. I didn't ask the question. I'll ask for thumbs right now. Thumbs up said, yeah, sure. In between is like, do it anyway. I don't know if I'm going to be in it today. But the question is, can I help you fill your math bucket today? Give me a thumb, please. So it's a conversation. Those who choose not to, you help me out. Those who get it, thank you very much. It's just a way of me saying, okay, I'm not just wanting to force something on you. I know the assessment is coming up on Friday. I know you want a unit. I know right now 1 is done. If we get 2 out of the way, really 5 doesn't kind of, it's not a unit, it's kind of a review. So basically, once we take care of part of this on Friday, you're almost halfway done. Almost halfway done. In any case, somewhere different. All right, I checked on that one. Again, I'm encouraging most of you initially to draw the arrows. So let's say move to the right 3. We know they want you to go 3 to the right. Normally, when you go to the right on this, that's a positive, that's a negative if you go to the left. Well, because of the formula up here, because of this minus sign that's inside, what it says is, and when I'm going left and right, normally, again, going to the right would be a positive 3. Well, when you put it in the equation, which is hard to see, it has to be the opposite sign. There are a couple out there who you had it as a plus 3 inside. Like, oh, okay, well, of course, if I'm going to the right, it's going to be x plus 3. But no. And this is the part that most students, when they take the assessment, that's the one part that kind of messes up. So if you want, you know it's going to be a 3. You know it's inside because left and right is inside. It's your h. You want to put h to remind you of that. But then again, it's going to be the opposite. Yeah, you're going this way for real when you draw your picture. 1, 2, 3. And there's your picture. That's no problem. But the truth is, you have to switch the sign. I don't know how to say switch that sign other than if you're inside the house at home, you're one way. But when you're outside, you're the other. I don't know how to say it. It is a negative. And the way I know it's negative is if yes, once we go 3 in this direction, which would normally be that, but inside you do the opposite, and you have to do that. So I don't know how to say it. All right, so check mark that one. I'm going to write down this one. Then I'll see if we can get those circle papers out to you to see if we can take it to the next level. Here it comes. All right, what am I putting on this one? What goes inside with the x? Here is going to the left 7, which would normally be the negative direction. But again, inside you have the opposite. And what's going to go at the end? Someone different. The outside, the end, up and down is just regular. And I know I'm saying the same thing, but I'm not saying the same thing to everybody. I'm saying the same thing for some people who are like, okay, oh shoot, I keep putting the wrong sign on those. So you can get a feel. Inside, do the opposite. Outside, do what comes natural. And the point they just want to make here is, yeah, you did it with the parabola. That part's true. I'm going to write down one other equation. I don't know if they have space for it. Maybe I'll write it somewhere else. Yeah, no. Write down this other equation. The last one you get is going to be a parent function up here, radical x. That's going to be the new one. The picture is going to look like a ramp, like you're driving up a hill. And the same thing is going to be true. That's the parent version, the simplified version. Here comes oh, let me try that. Do me a favor, in this one I don't want to come in check mark. Try and write out the expanded version of this new equation. What does he mean, the expanded version? Well, here's the parent version of this guy. Here's the expanded version of it. See if you can guess what it would be. You're not putting in any number, just putting in the letters. Where does the H go? Where does the K go? Where would the A go in this scenario? We're going to guess it based on kind of what you did here. My hint will be the radical sign will kind of operate like the absolute value bars. Take a moment, I'll come around and check that, and then we'll give the circle handout. Circle, figure that out, computer, and then that's the main thing I want today. We didn't write down, on the circle we'll write down the standard that goes with that one. And I'm coming around just a moment. Check marking, check marking. Again, hopefully some of you all can feel, I don't know how you thought Algebra 2, Semester 2, what the Algebra 2 Semester 1 would be hard or easy, difficult, whatever. As a teacher, my goal is always, okay, they have a bunch of things they want them to be able to do on the assessment. Break it up into small pieces. Say it more than once. Have them try it, be able to see papers around them. And ultimately, the check mark thing is kind of me to kind of see what's there. All right, I'm coming around really fast, and I'm going to give out that second handout. All right, get something, get something. The check mark is that you tried something. All right, I see. The check mark isn't that it's necessarily right. When I put it on the board, you'll get to see what you got there. My hint, though, is that K is going to be all the way at the end by itself. All right, mark that way, keep going. All right, that's your writing. Do anything anywhere. Start it. Try something, get something on those. Say again. All right, gotta guess something. All right, guess something. All right. I'm marking just that you guess something. Nah, don't keep the same. I'm not saying you know it exactly. Okay. Mark on guessing something. Anybody that didn't mark who you guessed something, I'm going to put it on the board. I just want you to guess something. Anybody that didn't mark, you guessed something. Again, making an effort is step number one. So here it comes. Let's see. All right, so someone tell me what's going to come first. I saw some good ones out there. Anybody want to tell me what comes right after y equals? The A always goes first. It goes out in front. What am I going to put with that X? Say it again. The X and the H, they go together. They're partners. In the new paper I'm going to pass out to you, the X and the H are going to go together again. And then that K, now I'm going to mark something like this. With my radical, whenever I make it, I kind of put down a little extra piece here to say what's within that is on the inside. That's kind of important because that plus K, that's at the end. And if you didn't get it, write this down. If you didn't get it, write it down. That K is always outside by himself. So that one is going to be that way. Well, let me ask this question. In this new picture, which you don't know what it looks like yet, what is the H going to tell you? To move left or right or up or down? Left and right. It does the same exact thing, and this is what they're trying to get you to feel. Eventually, there are 10 different functions, 10 different equations. All 10 of them, when you write them out, A is going to come first, H is going to come second on the inside, and K is going to come third on the outside. What will the A tell you? What will the H tell you? They always tell you the same exact thing. Go left or right, go up or down. Once you get that pattern, then you're able to do it with any of them that they give you. And there should be one more. This one, eventually, I want to get that to you, at least by next time. New handout. Let's see if we can get this last. He wants them to do. I know some of you are putting that one away. Take it out just for a second. What is the vertex on this one? You're going to put that down right below it. This one I didn't draw my picture, but let me see if I can. Where are you here? 7 units to the left and 3 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. write down the vertex. In other words, what's that point there? That little corner point. That's going to be an important thing with what we're about to do. All right, let's try it up here. Someone say out loud what the vertex is on this one with the 3. Well, actually, it's going to be reverse. So the 3 and the 0 are important, but first I'm going to go 3 on the X, and then I'm not going to jump up on the Y. So the right number's good. Just switch those around if you haven't switched. Someone different. Tell me what the vertex is going to be on this one over here. -7 and a 3. At some point, they're actually just going to give you a vertex and say, please write the equation that goes with that. And you're like, don't you need to tell me if it's going left or right? What you're going to find out is, with a vertex, notice the order, a 7 and a 3. Look at the equation, a 7 and a 3. Look at the vertex here, a 3 and a 0. Look at the equation here, a 3. Zeros we don't write at the end. The rule will be, if ever they give you the vertex, they are giving you half of the answer. What does he mean, half the answer? Half means the 7 will go first, the 3 really will go second. The only part you have to remember, you have to switch the sign from the actual vertex to when it's actually in the equation. But the number part, you're going to get that right anyway. You're going to put 73, 73. 30, 30. Now you're going to get those parts right. They're going to use a little bit more here. Let's see if we can stress that a little bit more. So let's see what they have so far. I can move a parabola around. They can do that. I can move an absolute value around. That's this one here with the letter B. I can do that. I can move this last piece today. I can move a circle around. I can do that. Once you can do those 3 things, that's kind of the main thing that you can have. Let's do that piece of the puzzle. Why do they want you to move this around? I don't know. Maybe it's to see if you have the skill set to follow a pattern. But you're near the end. Oh. All right. So let's see what they have. Oh, do me a favor. Put your name, class color, upper right-hand corner. On this sheet, we're actually going to write down the standard that goes along with this one. They thought about taking this one away. All right, so let's see if I can find my version of this. Or I'll write the standard on the board here, and at the top of this page, they have room at the top. Top is going to be a little tight. Some of you are going to have to write a little bit smaller, but here comes the standard that goes with this one. This is going to be standard 4. On the last sheet you had, I should have said that was standard 3, the one with the absolute value. So let me do that, because eventually you're going to need to know, okay, so if I miss standard 3, what sheet do I go look on? Well, this is me trying to help you out ahead of time. Also, the sheets that are being passed out now, you know you need 6 pages. These are going to be part of the 6 pages. So let's see if I can back up for a second. On this one, I don't know where, but you put standard 3. Now it's all kind of stuff all over the place. Let's see if we can highlight it. Put standard 3 on the one with the absolute value. On the one with the parabola, if I didn't have you right already, put standard 1. These will be important just when you get your score back. And you go, oh shoot, I missed that one. Where do I go? Find standard 1, standard 2, standard 3. All right, standard 1 on the parabola. Standard 3 on the absolute value. And you're about to put standard 4 on the circle sheet. I'm going to try and find my version of it in just a moment. After I ask you guys to try and get some stuff. So here we go. Standard 4. What is it? What's the official way they're asking the question? I can write and graph an equation with multiple variables when given a real-world situation. I can write I can write and graph the equation. Write and circle that. You're writing this on the circle sheet that you were just giving out because it's standard 4. Yes, please. This is standard 4 on that sheet. I abbreviate it with an S4. Graph an equation with multiple variables. And graph an equation. The multiple variables, I'm going to, now that you've been doing it, they mean the A, the H, and the K. That's the thing you've been doing, so you already can do this stamp. You've been doing it. You give me an H and a K, and I can move things around. This time, given a real-world situation. In other words, now they want to switch it. Given a real-world situation. Was recorded. While you guys are doing your thing, let me re-explain just in case someone misses. All right, somebody who wasn't here, they want us to move it 3 to the right. I wrote the 3, but it's the opposite sign because it's going to be in a parenthesis, so that's why it's -3. They had us move it 2 down. That's my arrow for 2 down because the 2 is going to be in a parenthesis at the opposite sign. When I put it down into the equation, the X goes with the 3 because that's the left and right, that's the H. The 2 goes with the Y because it's up and down. And they told us that the radius is a 4. So just like the equation up here, whatever the radius is, we raise it to the second power. And that's why there's a 4 there. We wrote in the word vertex because vertex is the special name for the center of the circle. How did we get to the center of the circle? We moved it, like I said, 3 units to the right. That's what we did here. 1, 2, 3. And had us move it down 2 units. 1, 2. That's where we got the center of the circle. And I put its coordinates 3, comma, -2. Yours is good. I saw a lot of good stuff, so I'll just say it. Let's see here. They did 5 units to the left, which would be a 5, but you do the opposite sign. So I saw +5 on some of yours. I see that they did 1 unit up. But again, because of this, it has to be the opposite. So I saw a lot of -1s, and that was good. And I saw that radius 2. I saw that at the end. And so here's what I saw on a lot of pages. I saw that x plus 5 squared, that y -1 squared, and I saw that, oops, I put an R. I saw that 2 raised to the second power. And so I saw a lot of good stuff out there. Hopefully that was nice and easy. Let's get this picture drawn. Can someone say out loud what the center of the circle is? It's a -5 and a 1 because they want me to back up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go up 1. -5, 1. All right. Let's see if we can draw this thing. You'll have to draw one. You'll sketch it, and then we'll do the computer part, and I'll see if I'll get you there. How do you sketch this thing? The radius is a 2. You start at the center of the circle. You go to the right 2. You go to the left 2. You go up 2. You go down 2. The radius is you're stuck in the middle, and the furthest out you can go is just 2. So whatever they say there, that's the only thing you do. Now this is me technically doing 2. But a little dramatic so that when you go home, you can be like, yeah, remember that teacher doing crazy junk. It's just for entertainment value. It's not for learning. That's just like, I know you're sitting like, what? All right, so that's entertainment solely. So here's the deal. Here comes my 2. Here comes my 2 in red. I go out. This, believe this or not, some people, in the past anyway, this little part when it's time for them to actually do it, they don't do it so well. It's like, it's hard. Like, how do we do that again? But it goes like this. I'm going to do it on this one. You could do it on the one over here. You just go out 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2 above, 1, 2 to the left. I don't know if Daniel can see. Start from there, 1, 2 below. Once you get your 4 dots, you're going to try and connect the dots in a reasonable circle. And there are all the pieces. And there's a house. Right, don't mess around with the back yet. Please do me a favor, as best you can, from this origin here that we moved it to 3, comma negative 2, please draw your circle on this one. Notice that the radius on this one happens to be a 4. So you're not going to count out 1, 2, but obviously 1, 2, 3, 4 from the center to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4 left. 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Now the good news for me is I bet some of you in here had no clue how to do any of this before today. This long equation would look to you like a big heart. What the heck is that? Whereas now for some of you, when you look at that, you're like, oh, no big deal, left, right, up, down, I got my radius. And as a teacher, I always feel good when I knew the stuff they didn't know. And it's at the end of this lesson that, okay, no, I was able to help them fill that part of their bucket. All right, am I trying to check a circle? Yeah, I'm going to check a circle in the computer so that both people get an opportunity to get used to it, because when it's time for you to do it on your actual assessment on Friday, you're going to need to be able to punch it in yourself. So what I want you to do is you're going to punch in this formula here. Decimals allows you to do a little bit more than your regular calculator. Your regular calculator to punch in, it has to be y equals. Decimals, you can punch it in as is. So the first person, whoever feels more comfortable, you're going to go ahead and punch in the x squared plus y squared equals r squared. The second person, right on the next line, you're going to punch in the same thing. Okay, once those two match, raise your hand, that way I can kind of check it. If you're an individual like Daniel, David, Lorena, you guys still punch it in twice, and then we'll go from there. Use decimals to find what kind of graph is created by this. Replace r with different numbers. Show how it changes the graph. Okay. Once you have in the original, then we're going to choose maybe 2 different pictures. We'll do 2 different pictures. We won't do the third one. So people who are like, you know stuff, you just eat it all up. Don't eat it all up so that way if I ask you to do it again on Friday, this third one is available. So what is it that Thomas wants? On your paper, do me a favor, and those who still need to bring it up, I still want to come see it, but just so you'll know, make the radius 4 on the first one, which means you'll go in and you actually, either you'll change it with the slider. Is one of the sliders R, like the blue dot, is there an R for one of them? Or no, it doesn't do an R. It does? Alright, you can use the slider to turn that radius into a 4. This second one, I'm going to change up things. I'm going to actually, I'm going to keep the center at 0, 0. That is, your H and your K are going to be 0, 0. This second one, I don't know. I'll make it the radius a 2. And I'm going to make the center 3, 2. So what is it that he wants them to do? Let me see if with the sliders only makes it bigger and smaller, but it doesn't change it. So let's try it this way. For the radius, for the first one where the R is 4, I'm trying to get that in. For the first one where the R is 4, use the slider to make the R bigger or smaller, and then sketch it. For the second one, I wonder why it's not allowing that. You need to move that circle over, but how are we going to move that over? Oh, for the second one, you'll just have to type in the actual equation. In other words, you have to put the parenthesis with the x and the h, and the parenthesis with the y and the k. So again, what is he saying? For the first one, move that r, make it big or small, so it's a 4. Sketch it. and write down the equation. And again, for those who don't have it, I should have put this. The first letter is H for the center. The second one is K. Write this down off the board. This part is actually pretty important. When you write down the center, the H is that first letter. The K is the second one. Those who are working alone, I kind of don't like that you have nobody to bounce off of, like, what is he saying, whatever. So those who are alone, you can peek into someone in the middle or on the side, in the front of you, behind you, something, so that you're not alone. If you're filling your bucket, other people have backup, but I want you to have it as well. All right. So the first one's pretty easy. Okay. All right, so I'm walking around now. I'm seeing that big circle. You're going to sketch that big circle. I see the 4 on yours. The second one is going to be a little bit tricky because you have to put in an actual number with that 3. My hint to you, for those who are doing the second one, I see the first one on most of yours. My hint is to go in actually on the graph and mark it on your paper first. Go 3 over and up 2. And that way, when you're trying to make it follow that on the computer, you know where it's supposed to land. So again, for the second one, the first one most of you is nice and easy. You move that R back and forth at decimals.com. Try and get in there as fast as you can. So that's the original 4. On this one, actually, just put in this equation here on those. That's the equation. Yeah, so the very first one. So I'm walking around just checking. I see some sketches for the 3, 4. The equation for that first one is going to look a little bit weird. I'm seeing that. The second one's going to be a little bit tricky. It seems like actually the second one might be easier to do just by hand instead of even using the computer to get it up there. So you plug in the original equation. So he'll type it in first and you'll type it in second. And I saw it on someone's computer, but I didn't think to say it, so I'm going to say it now. For that second one, eliminate that first one. Once you've done the first one, some people I see that typing the second equation, you may have to eliminate the first equation so that it will allow you the second one. So I'm actually going to recommend something for the second equation, which some people figured out on their own, but I think it maybe would have been too tricky to say it, and I saw it back there. For the second one, do me a favor, type in the whole x minus h squared plus, and I want you to use sliders. That's kind of what they're trying to get you to use. Y minus k. So what is he trying to get them to do? On the first one, I already saw it. Some people I saw it with your 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I saw people's original picture. I'm even going to put in the original equation. X minus the h. I'm going to put in this 0, which normally we don't. If you wrote something different on your line, correct mine separately. Trying to run out of time here. But the question is, hey, is he getting what he wants? Yes. What is it that he wants? Can a student, if they're asked to go into a computerized graphing calculator, can they find decimals.com? Yes. Can they plug in any formula they're given, whether that's raised to a power, whether they're given different letters? Yes. So this computer part right now is all about, can I type it in? So the second one, x plus y minus 0 equals r to the second power. Just, if you're writing that in, I'm about to change it to tell you on a computer, on a standardized test, they would never put in a 0 with the x. And they would never put in a 0 with the y. Alright, so here's the official equation for the first one. When it's x minus 0 is just x. So this, the way they would actually write it is just x squared. The y minus 0 is just y. So the way they would actually write it is just y squared. The 4 to the power, that's still just fine. Can I mess one person up real fast? It's possible that for the 4 squared, they would write it as 16. In other words, they would do 4 times 4 is 16. This is the way it should be, but if you look at a test and they have just a 16 here, you're like, what the heck? You have to go backwards. How can I write 16 as something squared? Now, why am I nervous about this? Somebody who understands this 4 squared thing, they're like, cool. That 16 thing will just throw the whole thing off. But what I'm willing to do is this. Do the 4 squared. And if your test is broken, when it's time to fix it, this part is easy, and all we have to fix is just the 4 squared. The second one, let's write in the second one. This one I'll get your help on the second one. The most important thing I want to offer to you, yes, we're using the computer for this part on the test. You won't need the computer. Why? Because if you are given a center and a radius to get the answer, notice this. The 3 is the first number. The 2 is the second number. If you're given a center, you just rewrite 3 and 3. The first guy goes with the x, which I'm going to write down here. I just want to connect it to the formula. The second guy goes with the y. The only piece you have to remember is change the sign. If it's a positive 3 and a positive 2, it has to be the opposite. It has to be the opposite. And then, of course, the rest of the formula just... Take a look at that and see if you saw how easy it was when I built it. Let me give you a, I'm going to give you just a center. I don't want you to do anything on the computer. For the equation, I just want you to change the center like this. First guy first, second guy second. Opposite signs. Alright, let's give them a center. I'm going to give them -4, comma, 5. Okay, what does Thomas want from you? And let's make the radius 5, 6. 6 is pretty big. I'll make it 1. Radius 1. I want you to write out the equation without the computer or anything. Just knowing that the first number comes first, the second number comes second, and then just change the signs. I'll do that. Let's write that, and I'll check that one off. But while I'm checking it off, I can do one other thing in the computer with a new equation. Just to have your sliders move around. For those who will go ahead, those who are working on it now, I'm going to come around in a second and have raised hands for a second, but the equation I'm going to have you type in, just so you can have your slider moving around, is the y equals a radical x minus h plus k. We wrote it earlier, but we didn't do anything with it. I'm going to come around for this second one. On the test, you won't need your computer to do the circle. You need to find where the center is first. Please find the center of the circle. Once you find the center of the circle, please write the equation that goes with the center of the circle. Bling, bling. That's what they're going to ask from you.
please sketch the picture that goes with that center of the circle. Then you'll sketch it. So these three pieces you'll be able to do. What he's coming around to do right now, he's coming to check the equation. Eventually I'm going to ask you to put in the center of that circle where it goes, and then put the little radius. It'll be a super small circle. Some of you won't even be able to draw it. It's so small, but I'm asking for that. All right, hands if you have your equation. Hands if you have your equation, so I can know where to go. Yeah. And this is supposed to be a tricky section, so if anyone is finding this to be pretty easy, make sure you put your squares and your plus sign. Make sure you put in your squares and your plus sign to separate things. Hopefully this is, where is it there? Yeah. Now I hope some of you can feel, and then write down the answer here. Each person will move the sliders around. That goes with that. Oh, I didn't draw the picture. That goes with that. Make sure you write that one down, so you have that guy, even if you're tired, write that one down.